Are you looking to get a 7 or higher CLB on the CELPIP exam? Well, getting a high score on the reading section is necessary. And as you're going to see in today's video, we need to work fast. The exam only gives you 55 to 60 minutes to complete the reading section, and there are 4 parts within that, each ranging from about 8 to 12 minutes. So you have to work fast. We are not reading a storybook. We are skimming and scanning like it's a superpower. So today, follow along with me as a native English speaker who is going to struggle in this exam because it's hard, but we're going to practice together and we'll get a real feel. So I'm Scott from HZ Education. Every week we upload videos related to the CELPIP exam. We focus on sections like reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Today is reading. Now, the CELPIP exam is really important to get your Canadian immigration status. For example, if you do the express entry, you need a 7 CLB or higher. If you're just doing the regular Canadian citizenship, you need a 4 CLB or more, which is very doable for level A2 or B1, of course. But in order to get that 7 CLB, we've got to work hard and fast. So take your last sip of coffee because we are going in. Let's begin. Now, today I'll be on the HZ educational platform. I like using this one because it has AI-generated feedback, and there is more than 10 mock tests that actually resemble the CELPIP exam, and then at the end you get some feedback. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You'll log in at home. We're on the reading test number 6, so you can follow along, make an account, and do the test at home after you watch the video. So part number 1, let's get started. We have the text that we have to read, but again, remember to skim and scan, and then also questions 1 to 5 and the response 6 to 10. So let's begin. I'm going to run through the questions number 1 to 5 just so I know what's happening. It says the primary purpose of Dr. Smith's letter is Jonathan's initial interaction with Dr. Smith. Which of the following best describes Jonathan's contribution to the team? And Dr. Smith mentions that Jonathan is modest about his achievements, and Jonathan's involvement in the environmental advocacy indicates. Okay, so I have some understanding. Now I'm going to skim and scan through this text. So let's go ahead. I'll read very quickly, but you can pause the video and read it on your own. So the purpose of the letter is to provide an in-depth assessment of Mr. Jonathan Reed, whom I have the privilege of mentoring. Okay, so it's from Mr. Mitchell, and it's about Jonathan Reed. Mitchell was mentoring and collaborating with for 4 years. Our paths first intersected, so they became one, at an international symposium on renewable energy technologies. Okay, so we could assume that that's their industry, their field. Jonathan presented a compelling study on the photovoltaic efficiency. I don't know what that is. Impressed by his analytical acumen, I invited him to join our research team at the Green Tech Institute. Okay, so Mr. Mitchell invited Jonathan to invite their team. Over the following years, Jonathan has evolved from a promising researcher into a pivotal member. Okay, so he's developed. On a personal level, Jonathan is approachable, empathetic. These are some of his traits. And I saw a question about traits over here, so I'm thinking about that. It mentions that he's modest about his achievements. Oh, maybe that's not quite the right one. We'll read further. His ability to communicate complex ideas in an accessible manner has made a valuable asset during the team. He is deeply involved in advocacy, workshops, seminars, sustainable practices. In reflecting on any potential improvements, I can only note that he tends to be modest about his achievements. Aha! That's that question. Sometimes underrepresenting his contributions. However, this humility further endears him to his colleagues. It's kind of like a positive and negative thing. But let's see. So he's modest about his achievements, and this trait enhances his ability to interact because he did say, however, this further endears him to his colleagues. Endear is like a positive feeling. Leads to high performance, causes... Okay, enhances his ability. So we already got one down. Moving on, let's see, purpose of the letter, we could answer that. Let's just try it. Purpose of the letter is to give him a reference. Talk about Jonathan's skills, highlight achievements. Well, I'm going to read further before. Given our extensive association, feel uniquely qualified for a comprehensive evaluation of his capabilities and characters. Ooh, okay, we're getting close to question 1. Throughout this tenure at the Institute, he has demonstrated unwavering commitment to innovation. His work on developing sustainability solutions advanced projects, but also garnered recognition in several peer-reviewed journals. Okay, so he's made a big contribution to the Institute. Do we have a question about that? His contribution to the team, maybe. He focused on team relations related projects. He insisted on collaborative effort. He was integral to the core requirement of the team. He delegated the least responsibilities. Okay, not D, definitely not D. He insisted on collaborated efforts to maintain results. Insisted, that kind of seems weird, like to insist on collaborative results. He was part of it, but not really insisting. He focused on team-related projects. He was integral to the team. I'm going to go with that because that seems best fitted. Beyond his contributions, he fostered collaborative environment. Okay, that was part of that. Mentoring, spearheading interdisciplinary initiatives. As a colleague, he exemplifies professionalism, meticulous approach. He thinks creatively. He has good complex problem-solving skills. Project deadlines. He's proficient on varied program language, tools, instrumental optimization, data analysis. Okay, I don't see anything there yet. In conclusion, Jonathan Reed is a consummate professional whose expertise, integrity, and collaborative spirits make him outstanding. Sincerely, Eleanor Smith. Oh, right. Okay, so Eleanor Smith is writing this. He is writing it to Dr. Mitchell, and it's about Jonathan Reed. So the primary purpose of Dr. Smith's letter, the sender, is what? He gave a character reference, but he didn't necessarily say this is a reference for. He talked about his skills. Definitely, he definitely talked about his skills. Highlighted the achievements. Well, he did do that as well, but he did more. He announced his, no, not D. Character reference or talk about skills. There wasn't anywhere that he said here is a reference, so I can't infer that information. But what I do know is that he talked about his skills, so I have to select that answer. Jonathan's initial interaction. Ooh, that would be the beginning. We first intersect at a symposium. Yeah, the university symposium. Let's double check. Yeah, okay. We first intersect. That's where we first came together. Jonathan's involvement in environmental advocacy indicates that he, we don't know activism, engages in social responsibilities, perhaps applies his expertise beyond his immediate work. Yes. Seeks minimal public recognition. We don't know. That was never said. Beyond his immediate work. Yes, because they mentioned so much more that he goes beyond this. Language tools, data, professional, where did they say it? Peer-reviewed journals, innovation. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that, beyond his immediate work. 3 minutes left. Okay, so now we've got to read the reply and select the best answer, usually based on grammar or context. Thank you for your detailed and insightful evaluation. Based on your description, it is evident that Jonathan and your team they work well together. Share mutual passion. Benefit, no. Okay, share mutual passion because it's something that they do very well together. Given our organization's emphasis on cutting-edge research and Jonathan, Okay, our cutting-edge research and I need to read on. Jonathan as highlighted, seems particularly valuable for our project. Okay, let's do this one first. Jonathan's, this is hard. I'm going to do this one first. His cutting-edge research and his no protocols, no top-down, bottom line, no methodologies. Okay, the only thing they really mentioned was community engagement. That's the only thing that I remember reading in the text. So his community engagement. And now I think that'll help me answer number 8. So his community engagement, Jonathan something is highlighted, will be valuable for our projects. His overall skills, well, maybe. His adherence to teamwork, his ethical spirit, that would be related to like his job ethics. Decent nature, no, not D. Adherence to teamwork or ethical spirit. I'm going to go with adherence to teamwork because we also talked about community engagement. Our work often demands effective communication of complex ideas to a diverse audience. Therefore, his ability to something will be crucial in fulfilling our objectives. His ability to elaborate written reports, be publicly, maintain confidentiality, detail, indicate concepts. Nothing about speaking publicly. I don't really recall them talking about public reports. Detail, indicate. Okay, we're going to go with detail, intricate concepts because they did talk a lot about his ability to write peer-reviewed journals. So that's similar. 20 seconds left. Additionally, his modest, while commendable, suggests that he may something. I appreciate. He may need help with require additional training. No, need encouragement. Prefer independent assignments. Need encouragement. Okay, and submit. Did it submit? Let's hope it submit. Okay, I gotta say that was quite stressful, but now we still only have 8 minutes. So in the next section, you're going to read some type of diagram. My advice is look at the diagram first and identify the main differences. Take note because when you read the paragraph, there's going to be a lot of synonyms. You'll see in the example following. But if they talk about some features in the diagram, almost always they're going to use synonyms for those features. So you don't want to memorize the diagram. You want to understand the differences between the categories or between the topics or subjects or whatever it is. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the picture here. We have 3 different technologies: futuristic VR headset, smart glasses, drone. Okay, so headset, we got immersed display, brainwave control. We have a suit, multisensory, AI-powered. The futuristic glastics, okay, it's augmented reality, gesture recognition, okay, activated, transparent lens, adaptive light. The drone is self-piloting, cool. Ultra silent, nice. Real time, okay, so I have a good idea. They are 3 very different types of technology, but they all share similar qualities. So let's go and we're going to answer the questions. Hey Chris, I know you've been thinking a lot about those new gadgets. You always seem to find the latest tech toys, don't you? Anyways, before you go all in, I just want to give you a quick heads up on some features I found out. I know you've been super excited about the but the headset you're looking at seems to have a different approach. So the only thing here is that it's something about the headset. And now if I look very closely, we can see that the only one that's really a headset is the VR headset. And then also I can see it says the 4D brainwave control. That's what I'm leaning towards, although they don't say 4D, but it's a brainwave control. So I'm going to go ahead with that one anyways. But the headset you're looking at seems to have a different approach. However, it does come with, it comes with what? So I'm still thinking about the futuristic headset. It comes with a fitness monitor, a multi-sensor experience, AI-powered interface, transparent lenses. AI-powered fitness monitor? No, AI-powered interface. Sensory experience? Yeah, it does come with a multi-sensory experience. Okay, we're going with that. Which the other 2 options don't offer. Let's double check. Yes, they don't offer multi-sensory. No, they don't offer multi-sensory. Okay, so I'm pretty certain that's it. I'm sure that that'll blow your mind. Also, for all these outdoor adventures you have planned, don't forget the drone. Well, good. Okay, don't forget the drone. That helps me to confirm that we've been talking about something other than the drone, well, as a headset. I mean, who wouldn't want something with it can practically fly itself? Who wouldn't want something with what? Solar power, self-monitoring AI. It does have that. Ultra quiet propellers. Um, yes, but it flies itself. Self-piloting AI. Pilot, self-piloting, it drives itself. That I know that's correct. Speaking of automation, the glasses are pretty much cool too. You might want to double check if they come with a something, especially if you're looking to go all hands-free. If they come with clue detection? No. Expression recognition, that would be hands-free. Argumentative reality, that would also be hands-free. Adaptive light. Okay, so B or C? I'm gonna go with B, expression recognition, because that seems very hands-free. As far as handling instructions, I know you hate reading those manuals, but with the built into the devices, you won't need to. With the voice command, yeah, that seems right. Make sure you don't have any access. Okay. Take care, Jonathan. So now we're going to use the drop down buttons. We have 4 minutes left. I should relax. We are good on time. Just feels stressful. All right, use the drop down buttons. Choose the best option according to the information. What is Chris likely to enjoy most about the VR headset? Oh, we have to think critically. Chris is this guy. According to Jonathan. Okay, let's start here. What is he going to like more about the VR headset? Brainwave controls, multi-sensory experience, voice activation, haptic feedback. I didn't hear anything about the haptic feedback, so we're going to cross out D. I'm kind of leaning towards the voice activation because his friend Jonathan was like, I know you hate reading those manuals, so this is good. However, he also did say it practically flies itself, but that's not an option. So let's go with voice activation. According to Jonathan, why should Chris consider the drone for outdoor adventures? Oh, I just read that. The self-piloting. Is that an option? Capability, ability to fly automatically. Yeah, seems right. And 8, what feature does Jonathan suggest might not be present in the smart glasses? I'll need to go back and look. The smart glasses, I think, were number 2 or number 3 that he talked about. Super excited about smart glasses were number 2, weren't they? Oh no, the last one. They're pretty cool too. You might want to double check if they come with. What were my options? They might not come with augmentative reality, activity recognition. Make sure that they come with. Okay, so he's implying to make sure that they come with expression recognition. So he's not sure if it comes with expression recognition. And I figure that that's very close to activity recognition. Movement alerts? What? It's kind of the same. Activity recognition or movement alerts. Well, recognition will be closer because that has the same word. We're doing pretty good. We have 1.5 minutes. Whew, that was a tough one. I will say in the next section where we're matching the paragraph to the description seems to be the hardest for me. And it's I have to move very quickly through this. First, what I do is I read all of the descriptions on the right-hand column so I get an idea of what I'm looking for. Then I start reading each paragraph, super speed time. And as I'm reading the paragraph, I'm trying to recall if I saw those phrases in the description. So you're kind of working at the same time. I really discourage doing one task at a time. So like if you're just reading and then you go back and you read the questions, because that means you have to do it twice. What you're going to do is descriptions, read paragraph, look back. Read the next paragraph, look back. You're kind of answering questions at the same time. Try it out. Okay, so like I mentioned before, in this section, you want to focus on a lot of skimming and scanning. First, I'm going to run through the questions. Which structure mimics biological systems of sort through information? The process that adapts identifying trends without direct guidance. Okay, so identifying trends without guidance. What innovation mirrors human decision making in highly advanced forms? Human decision making, highly advanced forms. A debate sparked. I'm just going to look for a debate or different of opinions. Reliance of data-driven systems, data-driven, in sensitive decisions. What multi-step techniques enhances learning? A potential to revolutionize therapy. Okay, therapy, I'll look for that. And a growing concern over the unchecked collections. What technique allows machines to break down visual cues? Break down visual cues into meaningful patterns. And a method where consistency allows breakthroughs in various tasks. Now remember, if it's not given, you're going to select E for not given. So we're looking paragraph A, B, C, D, not given will be E. And in my opinion, E is the hardest because you're going to constantly be looking for it. All right, so let's go through. Artificial intelligence refers to development of computers, program typically requiring human intelligence, visual perceptions, speed, decision making. Machine learning and subset of AI allows systems to improve their performance based patterns, explicitly program. It is essential for AI applications like autonomous vehicles, personalized recommendations, language. AI's ability to analyze vast database and extract insight has led to innovations in healthcare, finance, marketing. Medical fields by identifying diseases at earlier stage, while financial institutes use it for market trends. The continuous learning capabilities of AI enables them to refine their performance over time. Did anything go through that? Probably not. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe, but not yet. Yeah, okay, let's just continue because it's kind of hard with just one paragraph. Neural networks inspired by the structure of the human brain. Ooh, we did hear something about human decision making. Form the backbone of many AI systems. The networks consist of layers of interconnected nodes, referring to neurons, that process and analyze data through multiple stages. Each layer refines the data further, allowing AI systems to recognize complex patterns, increase accurate predictions. Neural networks are fundamental to technologies such as speed recognition, natural language, and image recognition. For example, analyzed thousands of facial features, identified minute. Okay, we definitely talked about something related to visual cues. Yeah, break down visual cues. And I'm seeing lots about facial recognition. Where else did it say? Like different neurons. So I think this is B, because we're on paragraph B now, visual cues. So that seems fitting. Maybe number 1, which structure mimics biological systems to sort through information? Maybe 1, because biological systems are the human or animal systems. And here we're talking a lot about neurons, which is biologically in the brain. We're also talking about facial recognition. So I'm going to put that as a B, and then perhaps we might come back to it later. Let's take a look at C. A significant challenge in the field of AI is managing the ethical concerns. Ooh, did we see anything about ethics? Let's come back. Societal impacts, widespread adoption. The increase of AI in decision-making process has raised questions about fairness, bias, and accountability. For example, trained AI may perpetuate or amplify existing inequalities, leading to unfair outcomes in hiring, lending, and law enforcement. Moreover, AI and surveillance has sparked debates about privacy, governments. The lack of transparency in AI decision-making processes complicates efforts to hold entities accountable for mistakes, discriminatory practices. Researchers and policymakers responsible for AI development, ensuring that AI systems are fair, transparent, and accountable to be trusted in the public or something like that. Definitely. Okay, we're talking a lot here about the debate about AI. So I did see one that was the debate sparked on the reliance of driven data. So I'm gonna go here for, is this four? It's kind of lined up wonky. That sounds like C. I like it. It sounds like C. Click it. There. C. Any others? I know there was another question. Identifying trends? No. Mirrors human decision making? No. Revolutionize? No. Growing concern over the unchecked collection? This paragraph is talking about the growing concern, but I don't really know what they mean about the unchecked collection. Unless collection of data. That would make sense. The unchecked collection of data. Um, mm, 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 Outcome, yeah. Systems are okay. I feel like that's correct. We're gonna go C. C. Okay, D. This is our last paragraph, so let's hope that we get more answers. The concept of deep learning, subset of machine learning, has revolutionized, enabling models to achieve unprecedented levels of performance. Deep learning involves artificial neural networks with multiple layers, allowing them to process vast amounts of data. Mimics the human brain. Oh, definitely, definitely, we saw that. Oh, which structure mimics biological? Oh, sort through information. Wait, we need to check this. Because they clearly use the word mimic. But are they mimicking the ability to go through information? Yeah, allowing them to process vast amounts of information in a way that mimics the human brain. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to change that to D, because that has to be the answer. Has to be. Um, This technique has led to significant advancements in computer vision, where AI can now identify objects, scenes, etc. Deep learning has also transformed natural language processing, making it possible for AI to understand, generate, translate human languages more efficiently or effectively. Learning impact in gaming, where AI systems have mastered complex strategies like chess and Go, defeating world champions through algorithms. Deep learning model continues to evolve, blah, 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 blah. Healthcare, finance, increase. Okay, we've gone through all the paragraphs. We have 2 minutes left, so we need to work fast. The process that adapts by identifying trends without detect guidance. Adapts. I don't know, I'm going to move on. What innovation mirrors human decision making? Ooh, I feel like we just did that. Mirrors human decision making. That was kind of about the mimic. Hmm. This one mimics the human brain, mirrors the human decision making. But now I feel like they're tricking me because here they use the word mirrors instead of mimics. In question one, they use the word mimics. Sure. Number five, what multi step technique enhances learning and performance dramatically? Multi step performance enhances. We're gonna skip past that. Six, a potential to revolutionize therapy in fields. Ooh, I definitely feel like that was where they started talking about everything. Revolutionary therapies through field detections, finance, healthcare. Yeah, medical fields by identifying it at early stages. Okay, that's A. A method where consistency allows breakthrough in various tasks. I got a lot of questions. A process that adapts identifying trends or a multi-step technique that enhances performances. Multi-step technique that enhances performances. Multiple layers. I'm going to go with D because I felt like we just read that. Oh my god, I got to press next. Did it capture it? Did it capture it? Now, by this stage, you're probably tired, like me, because we've just gone through so much information. I don't even know if it captured my answers because I pretty much was late. It said time up. But, anyways, we still have to keep going. We're on practice test. We're on page number 4. So, this will look exactly like page number 1, but it's more challenging. So, we're going to go through questions first. Dr. Bauman's primary concern regarding modern technology. Okay, that's going to be our subject, technology, modern technology. Langston supports the use of technology in farming by suggesting that the central debate between Bauman and Langston revolves around, according to the passage, Bauman believes. Okay, so let's just read because we know the two characters. In recent years, the concept of sustainability has risen to prominence, influencing a broad array of sectors, particularly agriculture. Bauman, an eminent ecologist, argues that modern architectural practices are perilously unsustainable, with their heavy reliance on synthetic inputs, large-scale monocultures, and their depletion of natural resources. Bauman highlights that these practices have created a fragile agricultural system, one that prioritizes short-term gains instead of long-term. She contends that the unsustainable trajectory, so the future, threatens biodiversity, degrades soil, and exacerbates climate crisis. I saw something here about soil. No, I didn't. Okay. According to her, monoculture farming, which relies on growing the same crops year after year, depletion of the soil of essential nutrients requires an increased amount of fertilizers, pesticides to maintain. These chemicals, she argues, have a devastating effect, contaminating water, driving countless species towards extinctions, and she asserts, without intervention, the long-term consequences will be catastrophic, urging for a paradigm shift towards agroecological methods that prioritize natural ecosystems and biodiversities. We got to read all before we get into it. Bauman's perspective, so the same lady, also extends beyond environmental concerns. She says that the reliance on unsustainable practices exacerbates social inequality. Ooh, okay, so agricultural and social inequality. Bauman, get it, woman. Development nations, farmers in these regions, argues, often pressure to adopt intensive farming methods to meet the global demands, yet bear the brunt on the environment. She believes that agroecology, farming practices, here we have a definition, farming approaches that integrates natural ecosystems and biodiversity could empower small-scale farmers, more sustainable livelihoods, emphasizing on crop diversity, soil health, ecological balance, ecological methods, and have long-term benefits. However, Langston, an advocate for technological integration in farming, disputes, so he's total opposite, viewing them as overly alarmist. He maintains modern agricultural innovations, including genetically GMOs, precision farming technologies and automated systems, unprecedented opportunities to enhance crop yields and mitigate environmental harm. So more crops, but kind of like balance that environmental harm. The current practices are not without flaws. Okay, so he acknowledges there are some flaws, but the answer lies not in abandoning them. According to him, it is a him, right? Theo, yes. According to Langston, these technologies are not only vital for meeting growing global demands, but resilience against climate change. Interesting. GMOs, for example, can be engineered to be more drought-resistant, pest-resistant, nutrient-efficient, and reducing the need for harmful chemicals and increasing sustainable practices. Precision farming, which uses data analytics AI drones, can minimize waste by applying water, fertilizers more efficiently. This just keeps going. Langston further argues that Bauman's preference for agroecological is impractical at a global scale. He suggests that while agroecological practices may be beneficial and small, they are incapable for producing high yields, the world's growing population. He emphasizes the real issue is not in technology, but in the mismanagement and improper applications, which remedied with strict regulations and more sustainable solutions. He concludes, combining advanced technologies with ethical practices, the agricultural sector will overcome its current challenges and create a future where technology and nature can coexist. Whew. Okay, we got to go through the questions. So, Dr. Bowman's primary concern regarding modern agriculture is that it changes the quality. Yeah. Fluctuates quality. No. Yearly degradation. No. Worse of plantation. She had a lot of problems, but this question is only talking about soil. So, we're going with soil quality. Langston supports the use of technology in farming. He suggests that it improves environmental. No. Reduces complications. Kind of. Fixes environmental inconsistencies. No. Promotes environmental longevity. No, he understood that there are some problems. So reduces some complications. Some environmental complications. The central debate between them revolves around technological adaptations, technical involvement, technological adjustments, or technological impacts. Impacts. I think it's impacts because it's the impact. Yeah, too much tech means that it impacts the agricultural, and they were like arguing whether or not this tech is good. According to the passage, Bowman believes that the current agricultural model, well, she didn't like it, leads to long-term ecological instability. Yeah, I like that answer. Promotes short-term agricultural success. No. Because she was saying that just in general, like in the long term, it's not good for short-term games, but at the expense of long-term ecological balance. Okay, I'm not even going to read on. We're just going to choose that one. Langston's position on technology, he likes it. Requires regulatory improvements, involves managerial shortcomings, faces implementation application. Let me go down. So he liked the technology, but I think he did say it requires some improvements. Shortcomings, no, not really. Benefits from practical adjustments, faces, no. I think number 1, A. Okay, let's continue. I'm losing time just drinking water. The dialogue between Bowman and Langston touches on the most pressing issue in agriculture today. However, it overlooks something implication on a large-scale adaptation. Not mental, physical. Well, physical they talked about. The social they talked about. Economic. It overlooks the something implications of large-scale adoptions. I think social. Because we're talking about the large-scale adaptations within small farming, like small-scale farming, large-scale farming. I agree more with Langston, as I often see how something in farming are continually reshaping agriculture. Okay, I had to restart it, but I agree more with Langston, as I often see how something in farming are constantly reshaping the agricultural landscape. So, see how constantly, no, because that doesn't fit grammatically. Agricultural technologies, that fits. Daily rituals, didn't talk about. Traditional farming techniques are constantly changing. No. So agricultural techniques are reshaping because there's new technology. What is missing in this conversation is the acknowledgement that these technologies are often incorrectly blaming for issues like biodiversity loss, when the real problem lies in, I would say climate change, but mismanagement of technology. That is kind of what he was talking about, though. Biodiversity erosion, no. Crop failure. They didn't say that the problem lies in climate change. They were saying it's the mismanagement of technology. Instead of condemning these innovations outright, we should, and this tells me that it wasn't climate change because it's innovations. So glad I know I got that right. We should focus on something to ensure that we reap the benefits while mitigating unintended consequences. We should focus on what? Limiting monoculture, maximizing the advantages, reducing pesticide use, or shifting towards organic. They never talked about organic. They did talk about monoculture, but monoculture doesn't benefit anything. Monoculture actually causes more problems. So maximizing the advantages, that would make sense. To ensure that we reap the benefits, this conversation would pivot to how we can something address the changes more effectively, how we can increase crop protect, remain technology, or reimagine, promote sustainable, how we can reimagine technology, how we can protect ecological ecosystems from degrading. In a modern, okay, because it says modern, I'm going to say reimagine. So let's go ahead and check. Okay, so now the reason I really like using the HSET educational platform is because it gives me my results right away. One thing I noticed is that my answers did get submitted. I wasn't sure there. That was a little bit risky. Right in the beginning, I got question 2 wrong at the symposium. My answer was at the symposium, at an international Oh, I didn't even read C. Okay, great idea to read all the answers because I just looked for the word symposium. Jonathan's adherence. Oh, that was ethical spirit? Okay, I got that one wrong. That was about Jonathan and his cover letter from his boss, basically. What is Chris likely to enjoy most? It was the multi-sensory experience. Okay. And I got 2 wrong here. Which structure mimics biological? Okay, that was one that I wasn't sure about, the biological. So it was B. And I didn't provide an answer. I ran out of time. Damn. Okay, a method where consistency allows breakthrough. And I ran out of time. Okay, so the system recognized that I didn't have enough time, which happens. And then I got 1 question wrong on that very last one, the technological impact, not the adaptation. Okay. Now, when you do this test, it'll give you your assumed CELPIP score. And on the next page, you can also look at your detailed analysis. The reason I like this one is because it provides me with a 2-week action plan. So if you feel like you didn't do well, or if you did do well, doesn't matter, but you still have day 1 to 2, day 5 to 4, focus on vocabulary, timed practice test. And this is all created based on your test. So it's very detailed, hence detail analysis. So anyways, that was the reading section. I felt pretty confident with it. However, I had to drink a lot of coffee before doing this exam, as you can tell. So if you are getting ready to take the CELPIP exam in 2025, you should be using AI to help you take the test and get direct feedback. You can use the HSET education platform. Link will be in the description below. And of course, if you found this video helpful, if you watched it and gained something from it, do like and then subscribe to the channel so that you can catch our next videos when we update it. We always focus on one section: reading, writing, speaking, or listening. You should be categorizing your study like such. But if you're looking for something more than just AI, you're not really comfortable with a robot, well, please do get in contact with us because we have qualified teachers that have years of experience with the CELPIP exam. So you can have a one-to-one tutor or join one of our group classes so that you can really boost your score prior to taking the exam so you don't waste money doing the exam multiple times. Ultimately, getting more English content on the daily will help you succeed in the CELPIP exam. I'm Scott from HSET Education. It's a pleasure watching this video with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.